Hi, my name is Mari, and you would know me also as Lori on Voice in the Dark and on YouTube. I would like to address the world tonight as Mari. That's my spirit name. Some people will recognize it, some will not. But I'm addressing the world tonight because I think it's important right now that we, as individuals on the planet, take a reprieve and listen to our inner voice. Take 30 days to no TV, no internet. The world will not disappear overnight. I'm asking world leaders to do the same, and world religious leaders to do the same, and their congregations, all people of the earth, actually, to take a reprieve and take more moments of silence by yourselves. This isn't a time for debating or anything else. This is a time for honoring yourself, to validate yourself. Let your inner self know, I'm going to listen to you now. I will listen to you. And let whatever comes up, come up. These moments of silence, these times of quietness that we take, and some call it meditation, some call it just silence. It is whatever you want to make of it. However, it is about silence and listening to our inner self. All great masters that have walked the earth have told us, and I think we all know it in our heart, that the kingdom of heaven is within, and that our communication is directly with God. God is all it is, and it's within. And I think it's time, as a people, a race of people that are so different and yet so similar, the human race. We're at a point where, in the crazy chaos that's been going on, we need to listen to ourselves now. The ones that are angry and yelling and screaming, the Karens and all that we tend to make fun of, and can't understand why or how MAGA could even be followed at all. Well, let me key you into a few things. They are people who have felt in some way unheard, oppressed in some way, whether it's through religion or society, and a lot of them are women, or LGBTQ, I won't get all that right. I hate all them call letters. But anyway, the gay community, for nothing, different. But what I'm saying is that people have gone for a long time being misunderstood or unheard. The thing is, and this is to all of you out there, especially those who have felt unheard, you needed to listen to yourself first and then speak. It's very difficult for some people to speak. It's very difficult for them to say what they really feel, because they were either shut down or told, oh, that's not important, and this and that, and it goes on from there. But if you've never listened to yourself, your inner self, your true self, your soul, your connection to God, if you've never listened to it, you will never feel freedom. True freedom. Freedom from the pain or negativity or whatever it is that kept you silent forever, or quiet, afraid to speak, or take up space, for God's sakes. Women have been oppressed for eons now, it seems. So I understand where they're coming from. And the gay community, and anybody that's slightly different than a white man. which is grossly unfair. And we all know it. The thing is the person that needs to hear you the most is crying out for something totally different. So we need to take this 30 days to sit in silence and listen to our inner child, our inner self that says, and you got to let it speak. You got to feel the feelings, and then you'll have understanding, and it'll go away. But you'll have a new presence about yourself, because as you clear these things away, you find a new confidence in yourself. You see the world from a different perspective. And for all the people out there that are on the other side, you need to understand this about the MAGA. You need to understand that these are people that are unhealed. And we can have all the intelligence and all the education and everything else, but if we don't have compassion for these people, what good are we? These are people that have never been taught that they have a right to speak, or actually they feel cheated somehow. They need to be healed. They need to understand where it came from so that they can heal and become part of a different perspective. We don't want everybody identical. No. Never. However, you will find that we are more similar than we are different. Where do we want to be as a planet of people? Where do we want to be? We want to be validated. We want to be respected. And we would like to have a say in what we do and what our governments do. That's why I love democracy. Excuse me. But I'm going to keep talking even though my throat may do different things. It's part of my throat chakra not wanting to speak. Because in other lifetimes I've probably made a similar speech and probably got killed for it. But anyway, when we go inward, deep breathe. I mean, I even have, there's a lot of people out there with different meditations and whatnot. I have a basic one on my YouTube. You just have to go look for it. It's one of the first ones I ever put out. But you can find it. And, but it's really about deep breathing and listening to your inner self. And you can use your imagination, you know. But if you just tell yourself, I want to know what is blocking me from being more compassionate. What is blindsiding me that I could follow anger and hate and not see it as anger and hate? I truly would like to probably get to the bottom of that. But you need to get to the bottom of it. But the world leaders need to get to the bottom of whatever their problem is. And all people in between, corporations, regulatory agencies, armies, generals, captains, everyday people, because we all count. And as long as you're taking breath, you have a right to take up space. And that's for everyone around the world. There has been too much hate. We're in an age that there is no room for hate anymore. We're too intelligent for hate. We claim that we're all some sort of religion, Christianity or whatever with God. Let me tell you something about God. God loves you no matter what. He's going to love you even if you're a hater. He figures that's on you, but he still loves you. He loves you if you're a failure. He loves you if you got wound up and did all kinds of stupid shit. He worries about you, but she worries about you. But they also know that eventually you all make it home. And so it's not about ideologies making you perfect for heaven. That's bullshit. Heaven is within. And when you say within, it's because that's where your direct communication is with heaven, with God, and with your own divine spark. And it's time. We're sitting at the precipice of the most unusual, unique thing that's happening in the universe. And at this point in time, you have to decide which reality you really want. Do we want to see each other as different, yet unique, and that's okay? I think so. It's the best way to go. Maybe learn about each other's cultures, learn about each other's differences. There's some ideologies that don't make room for that. So what do? They want to be part of the world, but they want their way. But we can't do it their way because we don't fit that role. And we never will. Because once a soul is free, they never turn back. And I am here to tell you that God loves it when you're free. He loves it when you're free. He loves it when you're expanding and exploring and finding yourself. Because that's what our lifetimes are meant to be. We're here to explore ourselves and to explore the world and the possibilities. There are no possibilities when you're locked in and horned in on one way of living. It can't be. It causes stagnancy. Builds into a tumor of hate, which you create on your own because you're not doing anything else. And then you start teaching and preaching hate. It's a never-ending little cycle that gets you nowhere. Maybe it's time that the world takes a deep breath. All ideologies, all religions, none of them are true completely. And yet all paths lead to God. But I guarantee killing people is not one of the ways to get there. And there are no virgins waiting for you in heaven or anything like that, because they're going to look at you and say, I don't think so. They want somebody that's good. And anyway, I'm not here to put down anybody's religion. I'm just saying that ideologies, whether it's Christian, far right, far left, or there's a plethora of them, and none of them are the same. There's a lot of them. Or Islam, or anything like that. I'm just saying that any stone cold, hard case way of thinking will not last a day in the near future, because there's no room for it. We're moving into a future that is being pulled in by more people than could ever have been even dreamt of at this time, that are free thinkers and explorers and earth and tree huggers, and which is a good thing. And we're on that precipice, that choice. Do we want to be hateful and vengeful and cheat each other all the time? Or would you rather... I think the whole world should be like the United States and make good money for their people. You know, all people should be making good money so that we're all the same. Because that's what makes us happy. And then we can travel and say hi to each other, you know, instead of, you know, this warmongering bullshit that's going on with our leaders. Our leaders suck. I'll tell you that. In my opinion. There's a few good ones out there that are starting, and I'm proud of the African nation coming together, those 5 countries, or 6, however many it is. But anyway, I'm proud of you. And then that Traore seems to be a real positive influence over there, and it's a good thing. And I hope he gets with there's a guy anyway. He needs to get a hold of somebody in Sierra Leone because they have the same thoughts. And but the thing is that there is no place anymore for slavery and treating people like crap. And there is no room for just 2 income standards, filthy rich and poor. There just isn't. All people want to make a good living. All people want to have good fair trade and good wages. And they all want electricity and indoor plumbing. For God's sakes. And each country really needs to focus on itself, not worry about what the other countries are doing right now, unless they need help. Not war, help. This isn't about the wealthy anymore, getting as rich as they can. They've gotten as rich as they're going to get. I think that's how the people of the world feel anyway. Enough is enough. So what I'm saying is we take the next 30 days, no TV, no internet, and we just contemplate and reflect individually, not with each other, individually, so that you understand how important you are as a person. Doesn't matter if you're a woman, man, or anything in between. But it's important for every individual on the planet right now to realize that you are important. Every single one of you is just as important as the other. And the elite have problems with this because they don't know how to handle everybody having free thinking. Well, we're still going to have little businesses. You guys will still have your moronic big ones, you know. But we'll still be happy, and you'll still have to help, you know, pave a way if you want to do business with us. You know, we want you to be part of our community. We don't want you to just come in and tear things up. We want you to actually provide something good for the community and make sure that you don't make any messes when you are doing business with us. That kind of thing. But right now, if we would all just turn inward a little bit every day, take a reprieve from the rowdiness, and even I can't take it anymore. And I know that sometimes loud mouths kind of shut up when they aren't getting any attention. So let's not give them any attention any more than we have to. The best way to actually get your point across is to write your senators and your congressmen in your own state. Or you can do what I did. I wrote to all of them. Now, some of the emails you get, addresses aren't valid anymore. And the White House is notorious for changing its phone numbers and its email addresses when there has been something published with with the numbers. So it's real hard to find the right numbers. But if you dig, you can find them. But let your countries know, in whichever way can. But do it quietly, because now we need to go into quiet mode. Quiet mode and compassionate mode. Mostly with ourselves first, and then our loved ones. But I have found that sometimes we have to take a break to love ourselves again. I've always felt that I love myself enough to love others more. But sometimes you spin that out, and you just can't do no more. And you have to rebuild. And you gotta re-therapy, your body and your energy field. You have to heal and fill yourself back up. And that's okay, too. Let's make a commitment as a unity of people of the world. Not just our countries, not just our neighborhoods, but the world. Let our space for each other be felt several times a day, where we just quiet ourselves, step outside, barefoot if you can, and put your feet on that earth, touch a tree, hug a tree. But let an honest exhale into the earth that says, I will make space for everyone today. I will make space even for myself and for the whole planet. And find your gratitude for everything you have. Let God know God got us all that is. Go to Source. That's a must right now. Source. And let them know how you feel. And say, I am willing to listen. I need to know why I'm angry. I need to know why I'm sad. I need to know why this, why that. And take it one step at a time. Why do I feel hatred at anyone? And then sit back and take a long look at why you would feel fear about anything. Because the boob tube has shoved it down our throats for 30 some odd years. I quit watching TV 30 years ago because I couldn't take the negativity, because I knew it was wrong. They show you all this negativity, these shootings and this and that. And well, they're in certain neighborhoods. They aren't in every neighborhood. But everybody got scared because they thought, oh, they're going to come to us next, No. It was just brainwashing to keep people afraid of each other. Once you've taken 10 or 15 minutes a day, and then a couple times a day if you can, or 3 times a day, and just really deep breathe for 10 or 15 minutes and let God know, Source, your inner self, your soul, your spark of Godness, and let it know you're willing to listen, that maybe I'm not seeing it right. So help me. It's a dozen things. It could be anything. But I guarantee it's something from the programming or something you experienced when you were young. And there's a lot of people that had alcoholics for fathers or mothers or, brothers or sisters or, husbands, wives. And I'm going to tell you now that puts more stress on the individual as being important than anything else I've ever seen. And it takes a lot of strength to put up with them. They think they're funny, but it does damage to us when we're kids. And as adults, it ties us down to babysitting. And it hurts. Because then our life is gone. We don't feel any reciprocation from our partner outside of them. Most of them weren't. But there's more to partnership than bringing in money, But we all grew up with it in some format. So it does damage. We have to look at it. But it's easy to clear out. And it's easy to clear ourselves so that we can actually have a perception from our spirit, from our soul, allowed to come through. And we can feel that childlike wonder again when we look outside and we see our yards and nature. And nature's a key here to help us remember. This is the great remembering. You see, a long time ago, the world was actually ruled by women. Don't get upset, men. This is when the pendulum was that way. And the women ruled the world. They were grid keepers and code makers to keep the peace and harmony. And there was a lot of growth, and there was a lot of beauty, and there was a lot of community and unity. But then, as all things in history, an outside force shows up and takes over. And then the men systematically, because they were a male race that preferred to be in charge, and they saw a lot of wealth, and they decided they wanted it all. So that's how that happened. So the pendulum goes to the other way, and it's just all men. Well, we're at another pendulum swing, but this time it isn't to go back to just women. It's actually supposed to settle in the middle with men and women as equals. Men and women who come together that are so in love, so special, especially fitted for each other. And it brings the balance back between the feminine and the masculine. The great love of all time. The great love that creates universes. It's beautiful. And now it should be that the two become together and work together. That's where we're at. And I hope we do that, and I hope we become more democracy all over the planet, because then we each have to stay involved with our countries. We have to stay involved with our neighbors, and not heavily, just a little. But we have to be involved and be part of everything. And we can decide how we want to run our markets and run our products, and how we want to play and how we want to work. And it can be so much easier and simpler. So I challenge you all to take 30 days from this day, which will be the 26th tomorrow when I actually get this posted. And I challenge you to take the time. We've got about a 30-day reprieve right now from the universe. It's guaranteed. It's for all life on the planet to take a moment. To take a moment every day to be one with your Creator and your soul. And realize that you are just as important as anyone else. That's why you're taking the personal time for yourself to go within. To go within and be open and honest with yourself, and be willing to see what needs healed. Because we're in a time right now that healing can happen so fast, so quickly. Once you acknowledge where it came from, and your mind will show you. As soon as you acknowledge it, it's gone. You don't have to carry that burden anymore. And sometimes we're carrying burdens from generations. They say in our DNA we can go back 8 generations of their issues. So this isn't about putting blame on anyone. It's about understanding where it comes from. And once we acknowledge it and see it, we understand now. We understand the lesson. We understand what happened, and we let it go. It goes. It doesn't have to stay anymore until we acknowledge it. That's why it's real good to go in and acknowledge to your inner child. Just ask, where were you not allowed to speak up? Where? And then talk to that inner child and say, I would love to listen to you. And I want to tell you some really great things. When you grow up, you become. And make friends with your inner child. Because that's the one that's frightened. That's the one that's scared. That's the one that's unsure. And stop listening to damn news. And stop watching YouTubes. And maybe on Facebook and all the social media, we can stop for 30 days posting anything remotely political. Our countries, we have professionals there that are supposed to be doing their job. Maybe put that up every morning. I know that my country is doing its right job. And that's it. That's letting them know, I know that you're doing the right thing because that's what you're supposed to do because you work for us. And leave it at that. The rest of it is just drama queen bullshit. Let the country, let our laws take care of all the bullshit. Because they will. Take time. Take time this month. And if you need any help with anything, my email is always in the description of my YouTubes. And I think I've said enough. Anyway, for the greater good of all, for all humans. And I guess that's all I got. I'll let you go and have a good night. Lori out.